Howdy folks, and welcome back to Frieren. Today we're going to be watching Season 1, Episode 10, which is titled, A Powerful Mage. Yes, she is, folks. But I want to spend this intro talking about a couple things. For one, the Japanese title of the show. I mentioned last time, since these episodes have been starting with the ending of the episode prior to start off the new episode, we got kind of Lugner calling her Frieren the Slayer, Soso no Frieren. And I think I offhandedly said something like, oh, isn't that the Japanese title of the show? But since the most recent one that has hit the main feed on YouTube is the Frieren the Slayer episode, a lot of y'all have been providing a lot of translation notes on the title and what it means and how it means like two different things. And I think it's really cool that a title can mean two different things in Japanese, whereas for us in English, we kind of just have the single meaning to our title. But I love the fact that for these first couple episodes, you know, Soso no Frieren kind of translated to Frieren at the funeral, kind of how Himmel's death and his funeral kind of like sparked something within her to be a better person, to learn more about humanity and, you know, kind of actually take the time to do stuff. But with the demon Lugner calling her Frieren the Slayer, which also Soso no Frieren, you know, the word Soso meaning both like to send someone off like at a funeral or in a more threatening manner. The fact that everyone understood the title to mean this one thing, but then getting the second meaning to the title is really, really cool wordplay, and I'm a really big fan of that. Like I said, I wish we could have something cool like that in English, but unfortunately, not really. But the other point I want to make is I want to compare Frieren directly to another one of my favorite characters from media. I am a huge fan of the Metroid series, with the exception of Metroid Other M. I still haven't played Metroid Prime 4, I've heard mixed things, but for the most part, I love Metroid. I grew up playing the Metroid games. Metroid 2 on the Game Boy was my very first one. But when I was 11 or 12, I forget if it came out I guess it would have come out in 2002, so I would have been 12. Metroid Prime on the GameCube. First person Metroid game, and it had, you know, all sorts of stuff that you could scan with her scan visor, including a lot of in-game lore to learn about the planet you were on, the Chozo who lived there, the space pirates who were kind of invading there. Really cool insight in a series that you typically didn't get a lot of insight. You know, it was all about the exploration and the feel for the world. This was the first time that we got like a lot of like lore within it. But in a lot of the space pirate logs, there's a lot of ones that simply refer to the hunter. And if it's not immediately obvious, you come to realize that they're talking about you. They're talking about Samus. And I love the fact it really made me think of that as I've been watching these last couple episodes of Frieren, how just as Samus is their boogeyman, so is Frieren to these demons, right? Just that they essentially live in fear of the one who has slayed more demons than anybody else. And I think that's really cool. You know, Samus and Frieren are pretty much alike once again, Metroid Other M notwithstanding. For the most part, Samus is like a stone cold killing machine baddie, for lack of a better term, and what better description of Frieren as well. Granted, you know, there's a kindness to Frieren, as there was for Samus with the last Metroid, right? A little bit of motherly instinct, you know, taking Fern under Frieren's wing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just a little comparison that I've kind of had in my head these last couple weeks. And hey, like I said, Samus is one of my favorite characters, Other M notwithstanding. And, you know, one of my favorite series of video games is now being directly compared to one of my favorite series I've reacted to so far. Just the sheer quality of the show has been absolutely impressive. And if it keeps it up like this, for the most part, I know not every episode can be a banger like the last couple have been, but for the most part, if the quality remains, you know, even half as good, this is going to be a contender for one of the best shows I've reacted to. And I don't say that lightly. I've done quite a few series by this point, but this one is something special, folks. This is the one I look forward to recording all week. But let's scooch over here and get ready to watch, as I take this opportunity to thank you for watching me watch this thing. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. This was a bit of a long-winded intro, I guess, but, you know, had some thoughts I had to get out there. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hopefully come back later to see if more intros will be shorter than this. Additionally, leave a like on this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this episode, of the reaction, anything else you want to tell me, as well as there's a link in the description to the Patreon. If you want this or any other Frieren reaction, uncut, unedited, the next one or two a little bit early, that's the best way to support the channel, get a little something extra in return. But as always, glad that you're just here watching on YouTube. All right, long intro out of the way. Let's get to it. Frieren, Season 1, Episode 10, A Powerful Mage. I didn't have the title right here in front of me, so I had to remember it for a second. Starting up in 3, 2, 1, go. It's quiet. Too quiet. Okay. Interesting that we're starting off with a Flamma flashback. Basalt. I see where she got it. So I did pause it, and I might have misread or misinterpreted. If it was Flamma's fault that demons were here out and about in the world. I think they said something about that she was the first one to catalog demons. I'm still holding on to that pet theory until proven otherwise. But regardless, as the OP plays, my tea for tonight is Throat Coat. Take care of yourselves, folks. Throats and all. Episode 10. Powerful Mage. Wow. Oh, shit. He's still hanging on. You should leave and go talk to her. See, I don't know if Frieren needs the protection. And remember, demons only say things to deceive, right? But then again, Frieren knows her enemy, is what I was trying to say. Or is she just hiding it again? Interesting that this is like the B plot. I wonder if we're even gonna get Basalt the Throne. That's one hell of a title. He just likes demons to sit in his lap. Come here. Oh, is this when they first met? Damn, and that's coming from her. This oh. Once again, she's hiding her power level, right? Flamma not directly confronting Frieren with her aura, right? Aura. I mean, that's what it was, right? I'm not trying to make a pun about the demon. But you know how often those die. She really is kind of cocky though, isn't she? Oh. So this was like 1,000 years ago. I wonder if we're ever going to get to actually see the Demon King. Oh. Okay. Now I kind of see where Frieren gets it. It's like a reversal of that. Kill all demons. Yeah, we've seen that from Damn, just like that, huh? All of them in an instant? Fuck, dude. Holy shit. Yup. Very powerful.
海外に放出する魔力を制限して強さを誤認させた。
そうだ。相手が認識した魔力の誤差で欺いて殺す。誇り高き魔法を愚弄した。
It's interesting that Fern knew to do that before Frieren even found her. Like, Frieren didn't even have to teach her that. I wonder if there's a reason for that, or if she just, you know, if Fern just is that cracked that she just, like, knew that. Oh, and here's that. Picking up here. Now I shall take everything from them. Frieren the Slayer. Become a coward to make a mockery of magic. For life. Once again, making a mockery of magic, huh? Wow, and now we cut back here. Oh, not so immortal anymore, are they? I don't know, you tell me. Yeah, once again, overconfident, right? She's not releasing, she's showing everything. She's showing her entire hand. Oh, I can't wait to see what Frieren's looks like once she actually, like, lets it all go. They can fool with words, but not with their mana. Oh, cutting right back immediately? Damn, dude. They're almost kind of like AI, like large language models. That AI isn't like making something, it's just guessing what word should come next in a sequence. The demons are almost kind of like the same. That was an interesting way to put it by Flamma. That's why they take so much pride in their magic, because it's the mana that's kind of all the status for them. Since they were monsters. Interesting. See, and once again, I talked about how I'm just gonna say, like, before Frieren and Aura get to going at it, as it were, I don't even know if they will, because like I said, all of the fight scenes with Frieren have been super short, right? Like just one or two blasts, and that's pretty much it. Now, Fern and Stark had to take a little bit more time with their two, right? And, you know, that last episode was so incredible, getting to see like kind of the flashbacks to them and what's kind of guiding them to be their strongest state right now. Whereas, like I said last time, we've been getting these flashbacks for Frieren like the entire show. This episode being no different. Little flashback to influence whatever's going on here. But what I was going to say is that Fern and Stark, their fight lasted much longer than Frieren's typically do. It was very flashy, incredible animation, as I said last time, especially with, you know, Stark having that weapon battle with Linie, and, you know, Fern just like blasting off at Lugner here. But like I said, with Frieren, her fights usually end like that. And if the spell really is just like two souls go on the scales and then one of them wins, like that essentially is the whole fight. They're going to cut back here. Frieren's going to win the thing, and Aura's going to say, Bakana Mazaka, how is this possible, kind of thing, right? And then that's going to be that. And then all Frieren just has to blast her or something, right? So just given how much time is left in the episode, like there's not time for a huge battle. I'm not expecting anything like massive, just because that's, you know, not who Frieren is. Like we've gotten at the very beginning with Flamma, you know, Frieren definitely learned from her, but also holds her a little bit in contempt, right? In that there's a time to be sneaky and know your opponent and conceal your mana, but also there's time to just go directly in and just blast them, right? And I think that's going to be the time. Once you've kind of shown Aura that you can overcome her mana, basically, that's when you go in there and just finish her, right? Just, you know, the difference between the two of them. Frieren knows when to go in, right? So that's how I'm expecting this to play out. We'll see. But I wouldn't be shocked if I'm right. But let's see.
魔力の制限を始めてから3年か。
Only 997 to go before a pivotal moment in your life where you fight a big demon.
だいぶ様になってきたな。フリーレン、まだ魔法は好きか?
Alright, now this is a lot more like the Fern conversation, where Fern said, like, I don't necessarily love it, but it's what I chose and it's what I'm good at, right?
お前の長い寿命なら、いつか魔王を倒せるほどの高みに。
Funny that. Damn, you a bit of an oracle, Flamma?
フリーレン、一つ頼みがある。
Also, that's crazy that it did take 1,000 years.
周りは花畑にしてくれ。私の一番好きな
Oh, that was her favorite
綺麗な
spell.
花畑を出す魔法。
Damn, she mentioned that one all the way back in like episode 2, I think. And for that to be her favorite one. Oh. Is Frieren just looking for a favorite spell?
その魔法を教えてよ。
Is that why she goes around? She's trying to find one that she really falls in love with?
いいか、フリーレン。歴史に名を残そうなんて考えるなよ。
Oh.
目立たず生きろ。
And
お前が歴史に名を残すのは魔王をぶっ殺す。
until you defeat the Demon King. That... before we cut back, well, she did do the dang thing with the flowers, but I have been talking about that since many episodes ago, about how shocked I was that like nobody knows Frieren, and how despite the fact that she's probably the strongest being in the world right now, I mean, potentially we might see some pretty damn strong demons, but you know, she's got to be like top 10, right? The fact that like she's relatively obscure, like, see, I was right to ask that question because the show eventually in time was going to answer me. So I feel glad that I brought that up and did notice it because I got my answer. Well done, show. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, literally just living in caves and in fields.
この森に長く生きた魔法使いがいると聞いた。それは君か?
長く生きたと言っても、だらだら生きていただけ。
He's gonna see something in her, right? Just a feeling.
どう思う、アイタ。魔力は私の5分の1くらいですね。
She's like, oh yeah?
なんでこいつムカつくの。
Damn, she hated him from the jump.
まあまあの魔法使いに用はないでしょ。
いや、君は僕が出会ってきたどの魔法使いよりも強い。
Yeah.
どうしてそう思うの？
なんとなくだ。
And it's the exact same thing that Flamma said. Oh shit.
アゼリューゼ。
And now we're back to the present. All right, all right. That flashback was incredible. Ooh, and look at her soul. Visually, this is really cool.
早々のフリーレン。80年ほど前に初めて表舞台に
Has she been concealing her mana? I know they said that. I know they said demons don't do that, but also they said demons can make the bare minimum connections to know how to win.
でも、あなたがどれだけ長く生きた魔法使いかなんてどうでもいい。あなたの魔力が全てを物語っている。手に取るようにわかる。
Okay, never mind. Aura's cooked. Aura's so fucking cooked here.
鍛錬を積んだのはせいぜい合わせて100年程度。
Oh, you think?
しかも80年前と大して。
Oh, bitch. No, she changed a lot 27 years ago.
それともダラダラと生きていたのか。
Damn it. Look at her little hand pulling out that sword.
私の勝ちよ。
You sure about that?
これならフリーレンの魔力を消耗させるまでもなかったわ。なんだ、
Here we go.
天秤がフリーレンの方に傾いていく。正直このまま軍勢の物量で押されていたら危なかったけれども。お前が自分の魔力に自信を持って。
Once again, that going directly to her.
どういう
Also, this music is awesome.
もう気がついているはずだ。
I mean, as the whole
私
OST
は
has
魔力
been.
を制限していた。お前は見誤ったんだ、アウラ。そんなはずはないわ。それならこの私が見逃すはずがない。あなたの魔力には制限特有の不安定さ。
It's because that's what she's been doing for 1,000 fucking years.
私は生きてきた時間のほとんどを魔力を制限して過ごした。この状態で自然に。
She still doesn't get it.
ふざけるな。私は500年以上生きた大魔族だ。アウラ、お前の前にいるのは。
Yup. There it is.
1000年以上生きた魔法使いだ。
Since the fucking dinosaurs, baby. Damn, and look at that. Fully encompassing. That's a cool fucking shot.
魔族が言葉で人を欺くよ。
So shall
お前
we?
は魔力で魔族を欺く。
Yeah.
アウラ、自害しろ。
Yo, she didn't even have to blast her. Yeah, and she can resist a little bit, right? But that's so fucking cool. Absolutely satisfying end to that one. You know, it went, you know, mostly how I expected. I thought once Aura would see the scales tip, then Frieren would have to do it. But you know what? Nope. Like they told us, the spell is just and honest. And so, you know, she didn't have to. What? You know, I'm a little disappointed in Frieren, actually. She had a chance to add 1 to her already countless number of demons she's killed. That technically doesn't count because Aura did it herself. So, disappointed. I thought Frieren had more in her. But no, metal as hell to do it that way. And just oh so satisfying. You know, for a character that we had only seen... You know, the screen time of Aura had to be less than 5 minutes in total, right? Like she, for all intents and purposes, how much they talked her up in the show, to us, the viewer, she was just another roadblock. You know, once again, no doubt in our mind that Frieren would win, right? You know, Frieren herself told us, I'm stronger than Aura the Guillotine, all the way back in episode 7... Whatever episode it was where she got arrested and put in the prison cell. I think that was episode 7. Yeah, ever since she said it, it must be the law, right? I did. And you know, I said that first flashback was a little bit slow about how much time they spent about talking about suppressing the mana. But calling right back to it right at the very end before telling Aura to kill herself, you know, it made it hit all that much harder. So I can forgive it for kind of harping on that one point for a little long in that episode. And like I said, the actual fight with Aura, once it comes to it, once we actually start weighing the souls, went pretty damn fast. Yes, there was some dramatic tension about how long it took on the scales for them to start tipping Frieren's way. But excellent stuff. Absolute. And, you know, really fun in a way that the last one wasn't. A little bit more suspense in this one, whereas the last one was just like, you know, the eye candy popping off with action kind of stuff. Once again, there was no real doubt in our minds about who was going to win the fight. But the way it was presented was completely different from this episode, and both are completely valid, and both were awesome to watch. This has been an absolutely phenomenal arc. I know all the way back in episode 7, I guess it was, you know, 4 episodes ago now at this point. A lot of y'all have been saying that this arc was just completely fire from start to finish, and I agree. Not a single weak moment really within this whole arc. It's just been absolutely fantastic, and I'm expecting us to go back to side quests next week. Something really low stakes to follow after this. It's almost kind of like when I was watching Dungeon Meshi, I kind of made the note that we would get like big, like plot heavy character episodes, and then followed up with some of the most ridiculous bullshit we've seen in the show yet. And it's almost like when the mangaka are writing, you know, taking a couple chapters to write the really serious stuff, then it's like having those ideas like, oh, this would be a really fucking cool thing to do. I'll have to do that once I finish this story stuff, and then give us something really fun, kind of not super plot related, but just fun in the terms of the show. That's kind of how I'm expecting this to go. It's this important story Aura arc, but like, ooh, I thought of a really good like little menial side quest for Frieren to do next time. So I'm assuming we're going to get a little bit of that, that we're not going to just go from big arc to big arc. And, you know, from a viewing perspective, it'll be nice to take a little bit of a break from the big heavy demon stuff, or I could be completely wrong. And they just like, you know, here's another big baddie that they're going to hit us with, immediately. And maybe we'll have a bit of a time jump, like a 1 year time jump or something. And it just happens to be the next time they run into one of these big, was it the Sages of Corruption? Whatever they call them, there were 7 of them. I don't remember if the Sage of Corruption was Kval's title or what. There's whatever Aura was, there were 7 of them. And forgive me for misremembering. But yeah, is it bad that I kind of want the slow side questy stuff next time? Like, I don't want us to get hit with like immediate action all the time. I do want that breather a little bit, just from how big these last couple episodes have been. I'm a bit ready for a bit of a change of pace. Not complaining about these episodes because these were awesome. If they found a way to stretch this by another episode, I'm sure it would be great as well. But also no Stark in this episode whatsoever. We got a little bit of Fern at the beginning, but absolutely zero Stark, which, you know, once again, it didn't really call for it. It was the, you know, kind of teeing us up with Fern talking with Lugner in his last moments to kind of figuring out what was going on with both Fern and Frieren. But also, speaking of Fern, once again, I noted the fact that, you know, Frieren had to be taught to suppress her mana, but it seemed as though Fern was able to do so anyway, even to the point where she was putting out like no mana, if she could completely hide from like Heiter and Lugner when they were, you know, sneaking up on her when Stark was distracting them. So I'm wondering, you know, once again, is Fern like basically being set up to be like one of like the strongest mage since Flamma, or is it just there's something just innate within her that is just different? I guess we'll see as the show goes on, but that's kind of one of the biggest questions I have now, because, you know, Fern didn't have to be taught that, like I said, unlike Frieren. But always good to see more Flamma. I do want more for her, because I know that, you know, Frieren called her like a contemptible woman or something, still holding a bit of a grudge after 1,000 years. I'm wondering what went badly between the two, or what disagreement they had to make Frieren say that. So I don't know. Once again, this show just gives us the information we need in that moment. I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. But yeah, great stuff. I would ask what y'all think about this episode, but just from what I've been hearing about this arc in the comments of the last couple that have hit YouTube already, I'm sure y'all love this one. And, you know, fantastic stuff once again. But hey, let me know anyway in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like on your way out, and I will catch you next time for the next episode of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Or I feel like at this point I should start legitimately just calling it Soso no Frieren, except my pronunciation is probably terrible. Regardless, I'll catch you next time. Take it easy, everybody.